Hi, my name's Dan Schmitt, and this is Team Chicago Challenge. We're in Cadillac, Michigan. Now, Cadillac's about 75, 80 miles north of Grand Rapids, Michigan. My good friend Andy, when I seen him at Wassing a couple weeks ago, he said they're putting on a half mile and a short track. I was only going to run the half mile, got rained out. So today, I'm with my good friend Craig Breckon. He's going to help me ride a Rolodex, Rotex, and on the short track, I ride my Triumph on the half mile. It's a beautiful half mile. I'm going to be riding my Triumph to try to get some helmet cam. Got some great riders. I got to talk to a lot of my old friends from Michigan from the old dirt track days. So let's see the motorcycle racing, Cadillac, Michigan, and let's see how that Triumph of mine runs.
Okay, first race we're going to look at, and this is the short track, not the half mile. Today is all short track binos. Jumping off the line. Looks like John Teschma. I haven't seen him in maybe 20 years. This rider out of Muskegon area. In fact, he came up to me and said he used to watch my TV show when it was on in Muskegon, but that's been a few years. He's battling up there with number 57. 57 is Justin Thomas. Third place, 55. Looks like Mike Van Kuren. He's from Grand Rapids, and then James Block. And that John Teschma's bike looks like it's a stock chassis. It might be a modified MX chassis for flat track racing. Second place, Justin Thomas. He's on a Can-Am. Can-Am's definitely had a lot of horsepower. They have the rotary valve, carburetor mounted on the side of the engine, direct injection into the crank. This is very fast. Looks like he's got a racing chassis, but it looks like John Teschma has got the hot hand on this tough short track. We got to remember, it rained all day on Saturday. It's supposed to be the half mile on Saturday, short track on Sunday. We're going to try to get both events in on Sunday, so they started working on this short track. It is pretty rough. Let me tell you, this is definitely a handful. As John Teschma goes on to pick up the win, we're going to talk to Andy McRoberts, the man behind putting this event on.
Hey, my name's Andy McRoberts. We're here at the Cadillac half mile. I first saw a flat track in here when I was a little kid in 1973 and always wanted it back. We finally got it back, and we fought all summer. We've had 3 rainouts. We finally pulled one off today, and everybody sure seems to like it. They all say they're coming back. We're going to have a bunch of 2-day events next year, and we're going to turn this into one of the premier dirt tracks in the state.
Well, tell me who runs the fairground and how does that work? It's privately owned now, right?
It's privately managed by Joe and Sue Connerly, and they're really good people. They'll do anything we need to get a race off here, and I think today proves it.
Thank you, Andy. And now we're looking at the B class. This is 400 to 501. Jumping out front, like Nicholas Myers up front. Battling out there is Ben Myers, Justin Thomas, Jeffrey Van Derm. But moving up front with the red plate, it looks like Michael Goodrow from Flushing, Michigan on that Honda. 83J, this is the B Riders. He looks like he's got a hot line. The track is not as rough. Now, one thing I understand, there's good traction, and then the bike will slip in a hole, and that is the challenge out here. Second place, battle for second place between 24 and 40. That's Nicholas Myers and Ben Myers battling it out as Michael Goodrow goes out and picks up the win in the 400 to 505 B final event. Now the big twins jumping out front. Eric Kalenda from Grand Rapids. He's on a Yamaha. Battling behind him, a 3-way battle. Donald Bannerman, John Kalenda, and Byron Sparks. He's got the advantage for second, 27. That's Brian Sparks. John Kalenda's running fourth. Donald Bannerman is running third at this point, but up front, Eric Kalenda. John Kalenda's son, got the hot hand. The big twins. 27 comes by. As we see number 15, it's John Kalenda. But Eric Kalenda, young rider, going fast on this good running Yamaha 750 twin. And now blasting off the line, the senior class. Jumping up front, looks like number 65, that's Roger Duprou. He's from Farwell, Michigan, on a road tax. Right with him, number, that's 60, David Soderstrom. Oh no, running off the edge of the track, 65, that's Roger Duprou. And he went into neutral, so now he's back to what, 4th place? He's got the work cut out ahead of him. The tough track. You see up front, number 60, it's David Soderstrom, Albert McRoberts. Or is that Andy? Is that Albert or that Andy McRoberts? Running 33, and Ken Aberdeen, 31, Albert McRoberts. I thought Andy was racing out there. But up front, then number 60, David Soderstrom, making the move now. 65, Roger Duprou is now up to 3rd place. 557, that's Ken Aberdeen from Lansing, Michigan. 3-way battle for 2nd. McRoberts trying the low line, number 31. Roger Duprou on the road tax. Looks like this track is getting rough for these bikes that just got too much power. As you can see, they spin up and then they want to let loose, and that's what freaks out the rider. As we see McRoberts battle with Roger Duprou. But up front, number 60, that's David Soderstrom. Could be coming down to the wire, but picking up the win, David Soderstrom, Roger Duprou, Albert McRoberts. The next up, it's a combined 250 to 400 open and open singles. 65, 68 is here, Courtney Corkin. Courtney, she is on the gas on that Yamaha, that nice pink Yamaha. Jason Rosenkratz from Flushing, Michigan, running 2nd. But Courtney Corcoran, she is flying. 13's on the move. That's Jason Rosenkratz. 71 is Carlton Eddy. Ken Parkhurst is number 3. In that 250 to 400 class, 62 is Paul Wormerl and Ken Anderden from Lansing, Michigan. 68 still up front, that is Courtney Corcoran. But trying to make the move is Jason Rosenkratz. Can Courtney hold off the charge? Got a Rotex and a Yamaha. One's a motocross bike converted over flat track, and one's a flat track Rotex. Could be a 600, could be a 500, could be a 550. But taking the lead now is Jason Rosenkratz from Flushing, getting by Courtney Corcoran. Leading in the 250 to 450 is Paul Wackerl. Jason Rosenkratz. Looks like he's going to go on and pick up the win. First race we're going to look at is 400 plus vintage class. But this half-mile track, Wexford County Fairgrounds, has turned out to be a pretty nice cushion. Jumping out front is that number 69, that Jeff Burlington, and he's from Ocala, Michigan. Right with him is Sam Faster, and he's on a Yamaha, number 39. Also, Albert McRoberts, the local hero. Brian Sparks is out there. John Glenda is out there. Making the move on the outside looks like Albert McRoberts or Andy McRoberts. He dives between them two bikes going into turn 3. Getting on the gas. Down to the front straightaway, it's Sam Fassner and Andy McRoberts, number 33. Andy takes the lead. Third place, it's like John Kalenda, Brian Sparks. Good number of riders. Vintage bikes, over 400 cc's. These are all singles out there, Yamahas and Honda. Wait, check that. John Kalenda's on a Triumph. As we see Andy McRoberts, Albert McRoberts leading. Second place, 39, Sam Fassner, Jeff Burlington, John Kalenda, Brian Sparks. Battle for second on the outside at 39. It's Sam Fassner, John Kalenda, Jeff Burlington. Andy McRoberts is up front, but I believe McRoberts will be disqualified. Bike was not the right year for this class. Vintage 400. We see the winner coming across the line. That is Sam Fassner. Next up, I am now riding Craig Brecken's Rotex in the plus 50 Super Senior class. Whoa! This thing does not want to handle as I run up the banking on the outside of turn 3. I rode this bike in the short track. I thought the short track was so terrible, but there is something wrong with the suspension on this bike. I can't quite put my thumb on it. It runs fast. It's a 500cc Rotex single. That's Craig Breckon right in front of me, the owner of this bike, and Craig is on his brakeless Triumph 500 Twin. Craig is getting around great. Up front is Roger DePaul on a Rotex, and then we got Paul Waxler from Lindman, Michigan. We got 3 Michigan riders and me on this Rotex, but I'm saying this thing is not handling. It rides terrible. I wish I knew what I could tell Craig is wrong with it. I would have to play with it. Maybe the rear shocks have got to be loosened up. Got to be softer springs. Maybe the angle of the forks is wrong, but it is not working. But I'm having fun thanks to my good friend, Craig Breckon. And now let's go talk to Craig as he shows us his bike that he brought to Cadillac.
We are here, Chicago, Detroit, and all the other metro areas. We are here in northern Michigan, Cadillac County Fairgrounds. I'm sorry, Wexford County Fairgrounds in Cadillac, Michigan. We come here yesterday to do a little half miling on the beautiful half mile, and we got rained out. So we all hung in there, maybe had a few libations, if you know what I'm talking about. And we didn't get it in. So we're back here on Sunday morning. It's about noon now. And they've been working the short track for today, and then later on we're going to run the half mile also. Hopefully we can get it all in. I'm Craig Breckon. I'm out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we do vintage bikes. We're the vintage guys. And I brought my small fleet up here and some of my guys. We show you what we brought up here so we can get along with District 14 and get some vintage bikes mixed in. My team is called Royal Racing. It was my grandpa's name, and it sounded like a good name, and that's what we do. We do vintage bikes. Over here I brought my little short track bike. This is a 441 BSA, about a 67, 68, and it's really good for short tracks. It's not kind of gutless on the half miles, the big ones, but on the short tracks, this is the bike of preference right here. I got 2 Triumphs here. They're both rigids. I got these about 15 years ago out of Dallas, Texas. A really famous place called Big D. Jack Wilson was a world-renowned speed freak. Anyway, this one here is this is a 500 Triumph. It's in a Sonic racing chassis. No brakes, no suspension. Just front suspension only. Rigid. Both these are rigid frames. This one's about a 65, 66. I run this one against the BSA Gold Stars and the Harley Davidson KRs. Over here is my dinosaur bike. It means Class C racer, 51 and back, 1951 and earlier. And this is a Triumph 500. It's a
separate from the gearbox. And we run against the Harley Davidson WRs, and jammers. Down here is a more modern bike. This is my Rotax. This was the racer of choice in the late 80s and the early 90s. So we got up this 500 Rotax. They make them up to 600 cc's. There's even a few freak ones where they're up to 700 cc's. But this one's only a 505. That's all we're going to need on the short track today. I'm going to ask Dan Schmitt from Team Chicago if he'll ride it and see if he can handle it. If he can handle that big twin he has, he can handle this little Rotax. Over on this side, we got a Yamaha 2-valver. 2 valves per cylinder. About 1976, 77. Good all-around bike. Pretty hard to hurt them. But they're really good. They hook up well. They get the power to the track. What I didn't bring was I have a couple of 4-valve Hondas, but I just didn't have room in the truck and trailer. And I got a couple other guys that are going to be riding different bikes around here today. But we invite you all to come on up here to Cadillac in your spare time here, a couple, 3 times in the summer, or even I-96 Speedway over near, that's be east of Grand Rapids and west of Lansing. So here is my oddball 750. One of my favorite bikes to ride. It's called a Nourish. There's a guy in England named Dave Nourish, N-O-U-R-I-S-H, and he builds these motors way back in from the 70s. They were 8-valve magnesium crankcases. They come in both 360 cranks and 180 cranks, and this is a 180. There's a Norton gearbox. There is a Redline flat track racing chassis in it, one of the best available for twins at the time. I used to have one of these, a Redline with a Norton in it. That's now owned by the famous Dave Atherton out of White Pigeon, Michigan. But I went and procured this bike about 10 years ago. I bought it from Mr. Neil Keane out of St. Louis, Missouri. And Neil Keane is a famous number 10 national rider for over 25 years. And this was an extra bike that Neil had that he put together as new and never raced. I bought it from him as a rolling chassis, meaning only had motor and frame and wheels, and we finished it off and it's up and running now. It's a real unique piece out of England. It was actually legal and put through the AMA and through its rigorous demands, and they made a total of like 15 or 20 of them. They were first brought into the country by a guy named Mr. Hubbard. Mr. Hubbard brought him in out of the North Carolina area. Didn't sell very many, and then Neil Keane ended up with the rest of the motors and frames. They were a few of them here. They were brought in the country specifically to do battle with the XR 750 Harley. Never really did come to fruit. There's about a dozen of them here left in the country, and we love racing it here throughout the flat tracks in the Midwest, and even I'll take it down the south a couple times. But it's a real unique piece. It's once again a 8-valve 750 twin, a vertical twin. It's called a Nourish.
What a beautiful bike, and I hope someday Craig will let me take it for a ride. Craig Breckon's one of my oldest friends. We've been friends for the last 20 years, I believe. He came out to Groton Raceway as a corner worker, and he said, nope, I want to be into this racing. And he jumped in feet first, got into the vintage things. He's now a trustee with Armas. We see him out there on that 500. This is the newer 500. This is with the Sonic Weld frame. He's running against another Michigan rider from Interlochen, Michigan. That's Joe Gibbs. And Joe Gibbs is on a 46 BSA single. So we got a twin Triumph against a single BSA. Craig is putting on some good riding style, looking for that cushion, running on the outside. Now take a look at this. This is the cushion. When we talk about cushion riding, it's riding the outside of the track. Joe Gibbs, he's running down low, looking for a smoother line, but the faster way around the track, especially here at Cadillac, I believe is running that outside line, looking for the cushion. It gives you a chance to get on the gas sooner. Now watch Craig come by one more time. Run that outside, deeper cushion, about 2 to 3 inches deep, the dirt there. Throwing off a nice rooster tail. getting on the gas a little bit sooner, getting the foot up on the peg. This is a 500 overhead valve twin. I believe it's the Daytona engine, twin cylinder, 2 carburetors, Sonic well frame. It does have a stock suspension in front. Halfway point. But let's slow it down and look at Craig's style. Look at him go through 1 and 2, running that outside line. Getting on the gas early, throwing that rooster tail. This is classic Class C racing, half-mile racing. Throwing off that rooster tail, squaring off the corner. Cole Gibbs ends up finishing second in this brakeless class. Greg Breckon goes on to pick up the win. Now we're looking at 400 to 505 B class and the open singles. The open singles on a Rotex has Jason Rosenkratz, and he's bike number 17. Battling at 400 to 505 is 83 is Michael Goodrow against Justin Thomas. 83, that's Michael Goodrow using that cushion. 57, that's Justin Thomas. Jason Rosenkratz on that Rotex open single. He's winning his class. Running second on the track is Michael Goodrow. He's got the hot hand, Cadillac, Wexford County Fairgrounds. Now we're looking at the senior 40 plus. Up front, that's Roger DePool, second place. It's like 33. That is Andy McRoberts, local hero from Marietta, Michigan. DePool is from Farwell, Michigan. Third place is Ken Alberdine, and he's from Lansing, Michigan. But up front, Roger DePool on that Rotex, probably a 500 or 600. Andy's riding on a Honda. Third place is also a Honda. Andy's having a great time all these years, wanting to get racing back at Cadillac. Believe me, this is a great racetrack. Picking up the win, Roger DePaul, Andy McRoberts second, Ken Aldeden is third. But now, the big twin, open twin class. I'm on my Triumph. Got an XR 750 Harley ahead of me there. And another Triumph jumping way out front on the Yamaha. That is Eric Kalenda from Grand Rapids, and he's just a young guy. Harley Davidson and a Triumph, that's Brian Sparks. Coming out making a better drive. You can see I'm running the outside line. I'm running in the cush. Staying on the gas a little longer, heading out to the outside of the track, getting in the cush, getting a good drive. Now you square off the corner, come down, and on the gas, I get by the Harley Davidson of Dono Bannerman, and he's from Farwellsville, Michigan. Yeah, Byron Sparks is from Pontiac. Now I'm running second place. Eric Kalenda, whoa, coming by on that Harley again. That's the XR 750 Harley. That's Dono Bannerman. Go all the way to the edge of the track, stay on the gas, square off the corner now, down the straightaway. But Eric Kalenda is gone in that twin Yamaha, but he's a youngster. He's either in his upper 20s or low 30s, but I think he's in his 20s, so he's a go fast. But I got by that XR 750 Harley, feeling pretty good here, down the front straightaway. 8-cycle world, 4 and 6, maximum lock. If I make a little mistake here, I come too low, I'm not running high. And this allows the Harley Davidson to sneak on by, sneak on the inside. As you can see, he's got a little bit more start down the straightaway. So I head right up to the hay bales, to no hay bales. I head right up to the edge of the track, square it off, come down. I'm getting a better drive. You see he's spinning up. I pass him down the straight. He's let off the gas right there. I stay on the gas. I stay on the outer edge of the track. Stay on the gas. on the gas. Uh-oh. The bike is now running on one cylinder. Well, it was a great race. Big fun. She's missing and spitting. One bike comes by. So it ends up Eric Lunda wins, Donald Madam in second, John Lunda was third, that's the dad, and Byron Sparks was fourth as I head back into the pits. It turns out that the bracket for the condenser in the magneto, I have an ARD mag on this A-Cycle World 4 and 6 Triumph, and that broken bracket was enough to kill the engine, but a great ride, big fun.
For more information on the AMA, American Motorcyclists Association, AmericanMotorcyclist.com. AMA District 14 is AMA-D14.org. Thanks to Craig and Andy, I had a great time racing in Cadillac, Michigan. Contact me, and I'd love to hear from my audience at teamdan45@gmail.com. Remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action. Dan Schmitt Politics to learn what makes America great. And I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum. They're in Winnemac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson on Indiana Highway 39. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles. And pick up your copy of the Team Chicago History Package. It's at Rich's Yamaha in Lockport, Illinois, but give them a call first at 815-838-8130. Their website is richesyamaha.com. Pick up your copy of the Team Chicago History.